Hello everyone, and welcome to this beginner's guide to GDevelop. GDevelop is a free game engine that allows users to create games without advanced coding skills. It uses a visual event system, making it easy for beginners to start making their own games. In this tutorial video, I'll be giving a quick overview of GDevelop and some of its basic features. Okay, so here is the homepage of GDevelop. Create your game. You gotta go to create. Here's the plus button where you can create your own. But what we wanted to do is we're just gonna go to empty. But yeah, we'll just keep it like this. And you got the project name where you can just name your project. Also comes with random name. You can just click on it, just Boss North. You know, that's actually a cool name. Now let's create our project. So once you press create new game, it'll pop up like this. So this is where you can create your game inside this rectangular box. And if you click to events, this is where you can add your programming, such as the conditions, new events, and actions. And this is where your scene objects will be for the scene, which is the whole rectangle. What we're gonna make is we're gonna make a simple platformer game, which is the easiest one to make, and I suggest you do that if you're a new game dev. Now let's add a background, how the level will look like. So you want to click on scene add object, some choices where you can go new object from scratch like sprite, tiled sprite, 3D box. But also, there's also asset store if you want to borrow things from. What I want to look for is I want to look for like a ground where a player can just walk on. Okay, so here is the pixel adventure pack where I suggest you can use this if you're just gonna make like a basic looking game platform. Green grass and some, let's do wooden, just for the border. Alright, now we can just drag this in. Also, what would be helpful, you can add like a grid, show mask, like that, just so you can visually see the look of it. So we can just put some grass here. Okay, now we can add the woods thing. We can just use it as a border, and we can try duplicate that and just move it to the other side. And we got ourselves a walls, that way players don't usually just go out. And now we can have something like some platforms. Okay, so here's the layout of the platform. Okay, so now, since we're finished with the structure of the game scene with the platforms, also note if you want to add a little bit of a background color, since my background's white, I would go to the 3 lines, go to your scene, also recommend name your scene, just in case. And if you go to edit scene properties and boom, you go to that white bit there, you can just change however you want it. And now let's start adding a player in, which is this one right here, right next to me, floating right next to my head. In order to do that, we gotta go to our scene object, new object from scratch, add in a sprite. We can now add and import our sprite in. So now after when you import your sprite animation in from your files, You can change your object or character name. There you go. Eric, the robot, which is what I made. I need behavior, platformer character, where you can able to move him around, and then apply. And then you're going to move him, or probably you can also enlarge him. And also on how to make him move around, well, I actually already added like a behavior platformer object where you can allow character to move just by the controls. And let's see, we can go test it out. Uh-oh. Okay, so I fixed the behavior. So I add a behavior where the object is known as a platform object where characters can like move around on top, especially the walls here. That way the character doesn't go out of the map. Also, I did add I enhanced the animation, so if you would go to the properties, there also recommend putting loop, and also time, which is only 0.1 second. Now you hit apply, and then you preview it for a test. You can see the animation works. Now if you move around with your arrow key and space to jump, which is very cool. Now you build yourself a game. And then also here's the event, like an event. For example, if I want to do conditions. Okay, so now I actually added some code here. Now this is supposed to be of changing the character, like flipping the character horizontally. I clicked on Eric and search out pressed. So go to control pressed or simulated. I press the right key, and then I add in the action of what will happen if I press the right key. So if I press the right key, it will flip horizontally my character, and then I activate it as a yes. And same goes for the left one. If we just test it out. Now I'm not sure if you're gonna notice, but if you look closely, his eyes is gonna be different a little bit. This is how you can make a game, but just a simple game. Also recommend actually just playing around with this software. And that's how you can make a game in GDevelop. Also, recommendation, if you want to keep practicing using GDevelop, then I suggest you probably will make a simple platforming game, or maybe a game that is just try remake like a famous like pixel 2D games like Flappy Bird, Pac-Man, etc. And also, do not forget to like this video right here if you think that was helpful, and subscribe if you are new to this channel. Anyway, I hope it helps, and peace. Oh.